Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin and I like motorbikes. Before we get into what we're going to be doing today, do you know what this is? If you said kickstand foot or sidestand puck or anything like that, you'd be right. If you said sex toy, I have questions. Mostly logistical, but there are still questions. I show you this because when I started riding again 16 years ago after having bikes as a kid like many of us did, I rode heavy American V-twin touring bikes. I had a Victory Cross Country, had an Indian Roadmaster, and both of those had a tendency to want to sink in whenever you parked them, whether it was soft pavement in the summer, an overflow lot going to an MX race, or anything else. You needed something to increase the surface area of your kickstand, and that's what these did. This is a fairly formal one that I got from a company called Clearwater Lights, who I did business with 14 years ago. And again recently, as I put those colored covers on my Norden fog lights, which there's a video about otherwise on this channel. That being said, whether it was a beer can or a piece of wood or a rock, everybody had something to hold up that bike so it didn't sink in. It improved the surface area of your kickstand and kept your bike where you left it, unless you had friends that like to move your bike on you, in which case, are they really friends? No, I'm just kidding. I had good friends that still like to move bikes. Anyway, so now that I'm riding lighter equipment, riding adventure bikes going off-road, the problem still exists. You pull off on a dirt trail or off on a grass trail, or again, maybe even a parking lot with soft pavement, and your bike starts to lean further than you want it to. So what do you do? Well, I'm going to show you what I'm doing in the hopes that it helps somebody else. So in front of us we have my 2024 Husqvarna Norden 901 Expedition. You'll see that it is very naked for reasons other than obviously installing a kickstand modification. I have more to share on that coming at a later time, so please subscribe if you're interested in this particular bike or what I'm doing. You'll also see that it's on its center stand. I keep going back and forth about removing the center stand, but when you're working on things like the kickstand, having a center stand is super helpful. So it's going to stay on for now. So I mentioned that obviously no matter what bike you're riding, a bike sinking in somewhere where it's not supposed to can be a really bad part of your day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a side stand foot. It increases the surface area of the foot of your side stand, unsurprisingly, and keeps it from sinking in areas where maybe it would previously. Now, the one I have is one that I have had. I purchased it when I bought the bike from Touratech, again, proving that not all dealers sell drugs. There are far cheaper options. Tusk makes them, you can find them on Amazon, and yes, you can even find them on Temu. So there are multiple options. They all kind of work the same way, and I'm going to show you how I install it. That way, in case you want to do something like that similar to your bike, you can, and hopefully have a little bit easier time of it. Although it wouldn't seem to be a major part of this, keep in mind that a lot of these side stand feet, at least the ones that fit correctly in my experience, are bike model specific, and that's because different bikes have different styles of kickstands, meaning different angles, different shapes of metal, things of that nature. So if you're going to install something, make sure it fits your bike and don't just buy the cheapest generic thing you can find off of AliExpress. All right, so all side stand foot enlargers or foot extensions, whatever you want to call them, kind of install the same way. It's kind of like a really messed up layer cake, if you will. So you have the top, again, in my case, it's Touratech. You can see it kind of fits here on over the top of the kickstand or side stand foot. You have a middle piece which fits beneath it, provides some strength and rigidity, and then if you're lucky enough and get all of that set up correctly, you have a bottom piece that sits somewhere like here. And that's what it improves the diameter of your side stand foot. So luckily, I don't have to hold the camera to do this because you'll definitely want at least one set of hands. And if you can get a second set of hands, probably would behoove you to do so. So I'm gonna try to put this together loosely and we'll come back and talk. All right, so there you can see we have the initial bolt and nut put onto our Touratech in this case, but again, they're all going to be pretty similar installs. Side stand foot. I'm going to come back once I get this snugged up and get more Loctite applied and maybe use a few more working words because doing it with two hands is a pain in the butt, but I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's done. Really quickly, one thing that I did want to show you is the bolts insert that goes on the bottom of the of this kickstand foot. You'll notice, it might be hard to see, that it is kind of angled to match the hole, so it kind of creates basically a lock bolt. So that way you don't have to put a wrench on the opposite side as you're putting the bolts in. So it's probably worth noting, probably very obviously, that once you get your first bolt and nut in, that you can move your kickstand or your side stand to its travel position, and from there you can have a little bit more assistance or a little easier angle to work on as you're putting the rest in. Obviously, I'll say it many times because it's very important, use Loctite, because this is going to be in contact with the ground, and depending on what you do with your bike, it may be in contact with the ground more than you want it to be. So obviously you want to make sure you keep that secure. And of course, as you're installing it, install it loose so that you can maneuver and make sure all the holes line up, because it is a 3-layer. Here you can see we have our top layer, we have that middle layer, which helps kind of deal with the width of your kickstand foot, side stand foot, initial, and then we have the bottom, kind of that kick plate. It's meant to take a beating. The one from Touratech, they are obviously aluminum, so it is our aluminum. It is lightweight. Good product. All right, so there we have it. There is our kickstand or side stand foot enlarger installed. Yeah, not a hard install, obviously, not expected to be, but worth doing, I think, because it does give you that more solid footing as you're parking your bike on the trails or off the trail or somewhere where you're not sure of the consistency of the ground that you're going to park on. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and flip it back into the travel position, and we can talk about what it looks like on the bottom of the side stand foot. All right, so as promised, here is the bottom of that side stand foot. You can see you have the four bolts. You have this bottom plate, which is meant to take the brunt, obviously, of any rocks or dirt or gravel, whatever you happen to park this thing on. Here you can kind of get a better view of the layers. You've got obviously your bottom part, your top part that has the Touratech logo on it, and you've got that middle part that compensates for the change in angle of the foot. You can see these bolts fit into the enlarged holes on the bottom. Like I said, make them kind of locking bolts, so it is super handy for doing the install. Yeah, and they are meant to take a beating as well. So there we go. So there's our side stand foot installed. There it is down in parking mode. All right, so that's the side stand foot installed. Not very difficult. This wasn't supposed to be a very in-depth install video. I didn't expect it to cause anyone too many problems. Just showing you one of the preparations I'm making for my bike this season. Why wouldn't you want to install a side stand foot? That seems like a valid question to ask, because I'm sure there will be comments making that very point. And to be fair, if you're riding a lot of single track or you're riding in a lot of wooded areas, you are increasing the surface area of the side of your bike that sits a little lower, that could get caught on something. If you're going through tight rock crevices and things of that nature, I could see where this probably would be a problem. For me, and the adventure riding I'm going on, 2-track, dirt roads, mud, things of that nature, I think it makes sense. It's, I guess, a decision we all have to make. Yeah, I like the side stand feet. They've saved my butt on different bikes over the years, and I think it's a good install, but it's something you got to make sure is right for the environment that you're going to be in as well. If you stuck around this long, please consider giving the video a like. It really does help. If you're interested in what else I've got going on, go ahead and subscribe. I'm not going to waste your time and try to create interesting things for you to see. But at any rate, thanks so much for watching. Really glad you were here. And if you can get out and ride, please do so safely. And I'll see you in the next one.